understanding that. Okay, so okay, so it's a turn off your mic, Janaka. This is your mic is coming on. Okay. So I will list them out first. Okay. Yesterday, whoever was there, they have seen me listing them out. But now I'm going to list them one by one and then see whether anything resonates with you. We see a lot of chronic stress and really thought to our Lord. See, we think a lot. We continuously think a lot. Why do we do that? Because we kind of think we are the only thought. You see that, like the French philosopher said, I think, therefore I am. No, I have thoughts, right? I can see that very well. So that means there's something there in me that's having the thoughts, right? That is apparent. Okay. So it's the kind of understanding that we are not thoughts, and also we are overthinking. We are thinking all the time. That's a fact. Okay. And the consequences we see quite a lot. A lot of people have that. Say it's like a mind that is racing like an untamed river. We don't know where the thoughts are coming from, where they are taking us, how long we are in there, and then how we are continuously in thought, never having a piece of movement, okay, a movement of peace. So it's a constant thing that is going on. And on top of it, we have this societal thing where we get a lot of notifications, endless, right? That is true. And also we have a life led by our devices, our iPhone, our whatever phone you have, and also all the devices, computers, and if they are inbreeding more and more, they're going to put in a eyeglass that you can see through that, okay? Or you can have something implanted in your brain, and then you can think through that, and then whatever you think, it will take over. It's already there here. So that kind of continuous thinking, only part of us, important part of us, but we don't know how to really be still and peaceful. Okay, that is something a lot of people are coming to me for the second one, which is a burnout. People are burning out because they are emotionally exhausted and they find their jobs are meaningless, and then they go on to that. So that's the second one. I will list them quickly, then we'll go deeply in one by one. Okay. And the third one is we are not really aware of what's going on with our body. Okay. We may not even listen if the body is sending you the sensation. That's the third one. And then fourth one is poor sleep and circadian rhythm disruption. We don't listen to the body clock and we kind of spoil the sleep. And then sleep is one of the important health factors. If you sleep well, you can repair your body and mind better, right? So the fifth one is inflammation that happens because of lifestyle-driven illness, right? Continuously we eat bad, we don't exercise, so on and so forth, right? And the sixth one is loneliness and fragmented relationship. We are having a relationship with brother, sister, son, daughter, and all those things, but we don't have really, loving, friendly, and going for each other. That kind of relationship is not there. Okay, we see that breakup of the households and the couples, divorce rates, single mothers, all these things. Okay, and then seventh one is loss of attention and being in the present, which I talk about all the time, right? So this is a endemic of distraction. Wherever you go, people will get the same thing. But our kids are not attentive. We are not able to pay attention to one thing at a time, and we don't really know what is that presence. We are not in touch with that. That's an important thing. Okay, but this inability to sit still and be with oneself or focus deeply is a serious problem. Okay. Now, and the eighth one is we have identity confusion. We don't know who we really are, or we don't have that inner anchor that we don't settle it back. Okay, that is the eighth one. And ninth one is we always are worried about what's going to happen to us in the future. What's going to happen to the earth? What's going to happen to the nuclear arm? What is going to happen with the AI taking away all the power? I mean, these are legitimate future concerns of the young people. They are really going towards that anxiety quite a lot, you know. And the 10th is a disconnection from nature. We are not connected with the nature at all, you know. Say we don't even see the sun most of the time. We live without sunlight, fresh air, and also greenery, quiet or grounding, the natural antidotes to stress. So if you just go out there and then enjoy yourself in the natural surroundings, you feel healed, right? The 11th one is we have a purpose crisis. People feel that there was no real purpose for their life. They are not really enjoying that. You know, they kind of feel, I feel empty despite successful in my business, successful in relationship, successful in my standing in the society and all that. At the end of it, I don't feel like I have accomplished anything, right? That is pretty common, I say. And then meaning is not there. It fades because life becomes more like a transaction, and you know, fast. It's going so fast, so quickly that things come that they overwhelm us. Okay, that's the purpose, guys. And then 12 is something I see a lot: compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue and emotional hardening that happens in a lot of doctors and healthcare people, because we see suffering so much. Okay, we are supposed to be, you know, not feel, just be neutral, and we cannot function otherwise and all that. But then, a lot of times they are so involved with the patient, so much the patient is suffering that rubs on you, and a lot of nurses go through what we call compassion fatigue. That's like a burnout too. That's like a emotional hardening that happens quite a lot. You know, IT professionals have that, and caregivers have that. So basically, the heart closes to protect itself. That's what happens. So you got to open it up. Then 13 is the mindset of sedentary lifestyle and lack of movement. Okay, too much sitting, too little embodied living. Energy stagnates and vitality declines. That's the essence of it. At the end of it, you don't have the real energy. Okay? And then reactive living instead of conscious living. Okay, people respond impulsively. Okay, from stress and also their conditioning. You know, rather than working with clarity, wisdom, or awareness. This is very important. I live it, I teach it, I kind of convey it, and I ask people to be here and now all the time. Right? In the morning routine, also we talk about it. And the final 15 one is fear of death and aging. See, if you don't understand the eternal, permanent inner self that's going to go on, even if after your so-called death, you will be really fearing the death, and mortality becomes terrifying. But even though that's the fact, people border, whether your inner life force or Atman or soul, whatever you call it, is eternal. And it only changes the body mind complexes like the clothes. So these are the 15 pain points I identified. And if you think I missed something, please come up and tell me. You know, then I'll be able to address them too. So, uh, okay. So, what is the consequence of these pain points is suffering that we see daily life. It could be a variety of things. Not everybody has all the points. I just listed what's going on in the modern man. Why they live very fast. They kind of occupied with so many things, and they have brief moments of pleasure and enjoyment. Otherwise, they may be aching inside, they may be suffering inside, they may be having so many different ways of suffering, right? People may not have resources, people may not have enough support in the society, people may not have friends and family and all that. So many ways they suffer, but essentially, people have some time of the life they have this pain point, some more severe, some less severe. Some may put up with it and then just say that, oh, what can I do? But my point is, you don't really have to have many of these pain points. You can have a very dynamic, very lively, vitally rich, and energetic, and kind and compassionate being, and also really help to harmonize relationship not only with your fellow human beings, with the society, but also with the earth itself, nature itself. Okay, so that's why what is possible is shown by the ancients when they lived it. What did they do? They kind of had a very outward life, simple outward life. Okay, so that means they kind of lived whatever minimum that they could get the resources. I know Jiddu Krishnamurti said this, Ramana Maharshi said this. All these people, they kind of see that outward simple life is possible. Is We can do that. We can be the minimalist. We can be the caring for the nature, and we can be the not the random consumers that the modern society wants us to do, and then complicate us. And also, because we complicate our external life so much, we have to have so many things. We have to have so many. One car is not enough. Four cars we want. 10 cars we want. Or one building is not enough. We have 10 buildings like that. It doesn't stop with anything. Okay, you don't want to be simple and have a couple of pairs of clothes, but you want 100 pairs of clothes that will be in your closet, not doing anything. So we accumulate things. We go on working for them, and we really think all those external comforts, facilities, and whatever arrangements we make, that will give us happiness, and that is creating this credit society, the society of waste, and the society of lot of things that are burden for us. We take a room for the storage and then put all the things there and forget about them, without really using any of them. You see what I mean? This is what is happening in modern life is external, complicated, really not a life that is really rich inwardly. If you have simplicity, if you have don't attachment to things, if you have really freedom from having so many things, but only what you need, essential, simple house, simple, people will be living close to transportation. That's pretty good. Okay, and also just don't have to really use cars all the time. You can walk, you can bike, all those things. Those are really wanting to disrupt you, right? You have to see that the broad picture is we have very complicated external life, and we do so much of our time, energy, and life energy, psychic energy we call it, and we spend on that, and then we are always accumulating that at the expense of inner peace, bliss, happiness, and all that. Okay, that's what the ancients' contribution was. They kind of lived very simply outwardly and lived very rich inner life by exploring into what are the important things in life. How can we really touch those meaning and understand the meaning and live like that? And what is life, what is death, what is relationship, what is calming the mind, what is really touching our inward intelligence that can show you in your inner abundance. As a human being, you can be very happy spontaneously, joyful spontaneously, blissful spontaneously. You can enjoy a friendship, You can enjoy giving something to somebody. So many things as human beings we do are because of our inner intelligence, right? Spontaneously, you can be laughing and talking with a friend. Spontaneously, you can be kind to a weak person, a child, or a old person. And spontaneously, you can really come and help them when they are in need. All these things are real, strong strengths of our human being. But we identify with the weaknesses of the human being and then say we are human. So that was really shown very clearly by the ancient cultures where they lived. We are all one energy. We all have been in this energy together. So our life is really dependent on each other, and we can help each other by accepting the other person is me. That is the Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, one family, the whole world of living beings, not just the human beings, but also the animals and plants and also inanimate things. All of them are together in one energy. When you have that oneness, when you touch that oneness feeling, you don't have any loneliness. You are with everybody and everybody is with you. You know, whether they do it physically or not, that feeling of connected to everything around you really doesn't allow you to be feeling cut off from everything and feeling like you don't have anybody, right? So it's a question of how the life evolved from being simple outwardly to so complicated outwardly, and then it used to be so much inside. Right? People really understood that inward is as a human being, we have intelligence, we have the calmness, we have the bliss and happiness, and so what we did, we want to go outward to get our happiness and joy and pleasure. But then we want to go after the things to give us happiness and pleasure. But ultimately, we realize it is not there. That is what I was talking about when they say, I'm really not really connected with anything. I feel lonely. I'm fragmented relationships and all that. Okay. So if you take anything, okay, let's take the first one, which is chronic stress and thought overload. This thought overload has become more. Okay, so people are really burdened by the excessive thoughts and also outgoing mind scattered all over. This is a fact. If you really look at it, people may take a drug, people may take alcohol, people may take illegal drugs and whatever, and then knock them out of their mind. And a lot of people, when they commit suicide, they shoot in the brain because they can't control it. It's going on, talking about it continuously. So think about that. If you have a mind, is that running like an untamed river or not? Do you have moments of peace and quiet and stillness of mind? Do you deliberately cultivate that silence and then stillness and then use your thought consciously and end thought? This is what my experience is. This is what I always share with you, that I think consciously. And when I have to do something outwardly, I do that like I'm talking to you now. I want to convey to you what are the pain points of the modern man, how they have evolved, what are the solutions, how we can really reduce them, whether we have them here now or not. During their life, everybody has some of these pain points I listed above. 15 of them I listed, right? So, not that we all have all of them all the time, but we have some of it or most of it at some point of our life, right? Due to faulty education or faulty evolution of the civilization, faulty mistake of what is what. You know, we think happiness out there and we want to pursue happiness. That's a myth. That's a mirage. Okay, but you can see it in your own life. You know, you a thing may come and you want to buy something. You see some clothing or some decoration for the house, whatever you have seen, and you think, oh, that is very good. I want to have it. You have it. and after a while it is gone. That pleasure, that feeling of happiness or satisfaction you have is gone. But human beings can be content by themselves, can be joyful by themselves for just being a human being and happy too. Once you realize that, but you have built up so much of scaffolding, so much of conditioning, you cannot reach that inner quietness, happiness, bliss, and this. This is the inner abundance that ancients identified, and they said you have to do antarmukha. That means you turn your mind inward and you see the egoic reactions and all that. Right? Then you say, okay, they are not me, put it aside. Then you go into your chidambara. Chidambara means that is the chit means the mind. Ambara means there's a room in the mind and the heart that you go there, and in that you will find what they call Sat Chit Anand, existential bliss of consciousness. So you're not the thought, you're the emotions, you're not the body, you are that abundance within you. Each human being has this fortune of having this. Unfortunately, our civilization tells us everything is outside, not inside. You check it out yourself. And don't believe me or don't take it just like that. But when I say something like that, your happiness is within you, your joy is within you, and you know the moments that you have really experienced that. Okay. So otherwise, you think all these thoughts are coming somewhere, and then you have done something, you have an impression about it, and you kind of hold it, and that way you kind of hold your mind with all sorts of information, all sorts of things. Now, computers have come, databases have come. They say, we're going to take all the information, we're going to process it for you, we're going to analyze for you, we're going to give you the insights. So you don't have to worry about all that. I use that like that. Whatever I can write it down or put it on a device, I don't have to necessarily remember it, right? Or hold it. So this is the active thing that we need to do, not to allow all sorts of junk into our mind. That's what we are doing. And people want our attention. That's why they kind of advertising, marketing, and promoting. Oh, you see in the TV also. What do they say? Oh, buy this and you have happiness. You will be happy if you eat this. You will be happy if you go to this place. Something like that. Always trying to get our attention. Internet is not free. They want our attention, and we willingly give that attention to people. That's not really good. Okay. So it's always understand, what do I innately feel, what do I know in my heart of hearts, what is the truth. Is this man telling me something that's not true? You can check it out, but first listen to anything that is said. There are all these pain points coming to me at some point of my career. I have been a doctor for about 40 some years. And then I have been at this ancient wisdom thing about 25 years now. And I have been in the informatics field for about maybe 15 years now. Okay. So I do get at various stages in various roles of mine as a CEO of my company, or as a doctor, as a parent, as a friend, as somebody who is coming and helping you. I have the leadership roles in some things and all that. Wherever I go, all these pain points are coming because you build a reputation. Though I can talk to him, then I can understand better about my relationship and can fix it. Some people come to me like that. The ones who are getting divorced, the ones who are getting real problems because their own person is not there anymore. That kind of thing. Okay, so you always want to realize all these things. Okay, so then you will be able to correct those things. Okay, and the second one we're going to talk about, we will do five today. Okay, we cannot do all the 15 that I listed. Okay, but anybody has interest in any particular thing, you can come up and we can talk about it. Okay, this burnout, and that is what I like to help my colleagues, the healthcare workers. doctors, nurses, pharmaceuticals. What is happening in the healthcare is almost like a uh, Dharani, mute your phone. Okay, so it's a question of feeling exhausted, feeling don't know what to do. Okay, they have no fuel inside. They are not enjoying what they are doing, and they don't have any renewal. Okay, and they care for other people, the healthcare workers, but they don't care for themselves. That's a big deal. Okay, so all this exhaustion, lack of recognition, and really physically don't have energy or don't have the desire to work in the field of healing other people, that is leading to really they don't have energy. That's one thing they complain. And they don't have um, the spirit of giving and helping people anymore, because they want something back on that. So they're not there to, in the spirit of being kind and compassionate and helping people who are suffering. They forgot about it. They came for that, but then they forgot about it because system puts them to performance and really transaction evidence that they are producing so much of money, so much of revenue for the institute. It has become like that. Healthcare has become revenue-based system, illness reacting. It doesn't think actively, how can I help these people even before they become ill, just to maintain their wellness. Really be well and live well in happiness. What they do is, it's my job. So I have to give a prescription, and then I don't want to talk about any of these preventive illness, preventive wellness measures. Okay, this is too much time. This is my job. I'm not your mother. All these comments I heard from doctors telling to other patients. Suppose I see a patient with a very high blood pressure. Then I will say, okay, we have to take care of it. We have to, I will explain to him what are the possible reasons that why he is having high blood pressure. What are the possible lifestyle changes that he could do? Maybe he's too emotional about his work and he's anxious about it. Address that, okay? And then show him that. And then show him the other way he can be calming himself down. Walk in the forest, go and sing something and watch the nature. So many things are there free. And when you do that, that means you are going to the root causes of our illnesses. That is not done. It's a reaction by the healthcare system as you develop illness and you neglect it for a long time and it results in symptomatology. You go there and they treat your symptoms and send you back to your own lifestyle. Burnout is a big deal, especially doctors. It is going to cause a emergency for the country, because so many people are leaving this profession. And also now the AI has come. A lot of AI going to help the practitioners to do better, to really help them to get to the process better with the help of the computer. But you can never be an artist of the healthcare, where you provide friendship, where you provide uh, kind of support for the patient, emotional support, and where you really putting things together. Like for example, you are flying an airplane. The pilot uses all the instruments, but still he has to be there when something really goes wrong. He has to coordinate everything. That's the way the physicians are going to be. But then, because of this information is afloat, a lot of people can properly educate themselves to use these systems properly and get a lot of wellness measures from the system, and also help them monitor what needs to be monitored, just like that. Okay, if you suppose it used to be in our time, people have to come to the clinic to get their blood pressure checked and then go. But now we have so many devices that can show your blood pressure continuously. You can wear a watch, you can wear a device, it will be recorded, and then all that will be automatically sent to your healthcare provider. So you can use the technology like that, but then the impetus has to be, how can you be well? How can you not go to the point where you are emotionally exhausted and burned out. And you feel you cannot continue your profession further. You cannot really give anymore. You don't have anything in the tank. You don't take care of yourself. You don't eliminate all the junk in your mind. You don't really pause and say, I have to eat vital nutrition. I have to exercise so that my body is, you know, fit and ready to go and work. I don't want to be reactionary with the ego, but I want to be more like a responding to my responsibilities or tasks in front of. So that kind of thing is very important. And I have been working with physicians and nurses for a long time. And we started it way back in 80s when we used to call that compassion fatigue. Okay. Nurses were naturally motherly and kind, and some people are so sensitive, they take all the suffering of the patient to be their own. And so they're so see that suffering so much, they get exhausted from that. That is the compassion fatigue, and they take the work home. So they were doing that. So then we established a simple advisory panel and also advisory body with me and the nursing head and some other important figures in the hospital. And we formed a committee, and we used to attend once a week. Bring all the nurses, whoever wants to talk about things. Just tell us what is going on with them and encourage them, not punish them, but encourage them to really how can they take care of themselves, replenish themselves, and then come and work better. That worked better because a lot of people kept their sadness or feeling of really, exhaustion, feeling of really not able to help the patient. That bothered them very much, right? Cancer patient, they're going to die. They have a lot of chronic pain and also pain continuing. So as you give the medication, you can see the suffering of the patient right in front of you. I have seen that. Then your heart melts and all. But then your heart melts to the degree it is affecting you, that's the bad thing. But if it motivates you to help the patient better, and then you feel good that you have done your best, that is good. Okay. So, but then people don't have that inner resilience of dealing with the suffering that they see in front of them. They also cry, they also do all that because they think that's I'm just being a human. You are being a human on the negative side, but you can be the positive side where you will be the one, your mind is quiet, your heart is coming out, and then you are not exhausted because of the experience. Rather, you are giving, and that enriches the patient and also you. Okay, so there's a lot in that burnout. It's not just the physicians, because I dealt with the physicians that I'm telling you this, but it's about everybody. A mom staying home gets exhausted these days. Continuous news or watching some entertainment channel or really watching this negative political thing and all these things that are happening, right? Uh, Accountants, or you take entrepreneurs. Everybody become an entrepreneur, which I encourage them to be. Sitting at home, looking at the computer, they can do a lot of business these days. This is good, but they have the problem of doing all the time. Sometimes it's very difficult for the entrepreneur to pay for himself or herself, and then they get exhausted because of those stresses. So I done a series 1 month. Every day I took one thing that is happening in entrepreneur, because I was an entrepreneur for a long time. I ran my own practice. I knew what it is to invest and I knew what it is to hire people and all the things that entrepreneurs go through. I went through that. Okay, so you are exhausted because of that too. So modern time of making so much money, revenue every 3 months, all those things also add. Either way, people are burned out. People are really exhausted, mainly because they don't know how to take care of their mind. They don't know how mind is their instrument. They are not that. They identify with their body or mind, and then they are exhausted because of that. But once they have stepped back and identified their inner self and they're able to see what's going on with the body, what's going on in the mind. They were able to manage them better. But if you are in the middle of the river, you are drowning, this become difficult. But if you are in a boat and going through the life of river, but don't allow the river enter into your boat, then you will go through safely through your journey, right? So exhaustion mentally and physically is a big problem with the burnout. So we got to bring them back to, okay, first have a comprehensive self-care. What are those? Those are the pillars of wellness. You should watch what you eat and what's the quality of that food. What is the vitality in that food? Just because it's tasty, just because it is something easy to get, which is what is the fast food thing, okay? And you don't want to eat that food which doesn't have any vitality. Okay, self-grown, grown with the natural methods, not with the chemicals, insecticides, and then fresh fruit and fresh thing that you can get it, and then cook it partially, not cook it to the death, and then eat it, savoring the food, and then eat only when you are hungry. All these principles are important to understand how do I take care of my food need, and also how do I turn the food into my energy flow, okay, from the nature to be towards the life. That is the energy flow that you want. But if you have irregular eating habits, which most of the doctors have, and also you consume whatever is available, that also I see in the hospital itself when we are having the meetings with the other doctors. I see all these bagels or donuts. I said, what is this? And then I was the only one who is ordering a salad. Okay, then they looked at me, oh, you're eating grass. How can you help your patients if you don't know what is vital nutrition is, and you are not eating that? Okay, people are hungry and they eat whatever is available, and they bring lots of oily food, lots of salty food, and then they eat that. Okay, lots of times work makes that, but how about having the discipline to prepare a box for you and bring it home? They look at it as that practice is kind of old fashioned. No, it's kind of being responsible about your body, being responsible about vital nutrition. That's the first pillar, right? Second pillar is, am I moving my body? Am I getting enough exercise? Am I making it strong enough so that it can go and really work with energy? Okay. You don't have to have a yoga studio like I do. You don't have to have a gym like I do. You don't have to have a membership in the gym. All you do is you be functionally fit by moving when you are working. You're sitting down. Don't sit down. Have half an hour. Get up and walk around the room and come back and sit down. That's good enough. You are taking the stairs, not elevator. That's good enough. You are not using the car in the nearby place, you go and walk and get your stuff. That's good enough. So being functionally fit, allowing the body to move all the time while you are awake, that is a very good thing. Okay. People don't do that. And also, do they sleep? No. They compromise sleep because they want to watch a late night show, or they kind of reading something, or they are looking at the phone and doing the surfing on the internet, which is very bad because your mind needs to rest, your body needs to rest. And when you go to deep sleep, which is really premium, people may sleep, but they don't have the deep sleep I'm talking about. Okay, they have so many dreams, so much of waking up, and they get exhausted by the night experience. I've seen that. A lot of people come, I cannot sleep, I don't have any energy, I cannot really do function very well. One of my CEOs in the hospitals, she told me that she has 17 meetings in the morning to evening, and her mind runs because everybody asking questions, everybody wants something, and then she's answering. So they're actively, animatedly involved in conversations throughout the day and letting the mind go, 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 go. So at the night time comes when she wants to lie down and sleep, she is having so many thoughts, she is not able to sleep. So I told her, in the morning, get up and don't allow the mind go on its own. And in the evening, review everything that is there in your mind and vacate it. These two practices help her sleep better. Okay, so that's the third pillar. And the fourth pillar is, how can you really have a conscious thought, not unconscious, uncontrolled thought going all over, scattering all over, and aggravated by so much of external stimulation, notifications, emails, so many things we get, right? So you understand that I need to really settle down my mind and keep it at still. This is something very, very difficult for many people that I have seen. They don't know how to enjoy, not to stop thought, but how to enjoy the stillness, the peace, the quietness, the serenity of silence. Practice that. Okay. First, sit down in the morning, close your eyes, and then allow your senses to listen to whatever is coming at you. And then slowly withdraw from it and stay in your silence at least for a few moments. Maybe it will be a second in the beginning. Maybe it will be a few seconds in the beginning, but it may go up to half a minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes, like that. And then any thoughts come, resolve to observe them, feel them, don't indulge in them. And then you will go into but you have to do it on a daily basis. What is happening now is nobody does any practice like this. They will say, oh, I'm meditating. You are calming mind a little briefly, but again, you are allowing a full fledged. Oh, I did 10 minutes. So that's enough. What is that you're going to do the rest of it? You go and do all sorts of reading books or magazines or, newspapers or looking at the TV and observe all that. That is not even related to you. Okay. So I have to have some control. Okay, these burnout people, I kind of get them into the CSC, comprehensive self care, where they eat properly, they understand how their body is working, and follow their body clocks. And they also eat only when they are hungry, and really take care of the content of the food. Take care of how you eat, how you chew, how you sit down, how you savor the food. Okay. uh, but I see a lot of luncheons where people are talking and they're eating a lot unconsciously. They don't chew it. All those things are important, right? And then, am I moving my body enough? Am I making it physically work? Because this has become very sedentary work. Am I making myself work out my heart, work out my muscles? And that is the optimal exercise that is needed for you. And use the occasions, whatever come at you during the work period, that you are moving, you are carrying things, or you are really climbing stairs, or things like that. Okay, something commonsensical routine where you are aware that you are sitting too long, so I want to get up and walk. I want to do some physical work, and also I want to make sure my sleep is given proper importance. Okay, it's not just automatic habit. It is like understanding in sleep, I detoxify my mind, I detoxify my body, liver, kidney, and all that. Very important. Okay, and then how am I allowing my mind to go all over? How am I allowing so many things come into my mind? So these four pillars, if you really walk and then really get the instruction, right, tap into the knowledge that's already available, multi-source, get the correct knowledge and then apply it, but be in charge of these pillars of wellness. This is what I kind of always talk to people. Come on, get in charge of your wellness measures. See these four pillars and then see whether they are in your control, or you are just have to do junk food because you are traveling, if there is no other food and you are exhausted and you are starving, and that's why you want to eat. Once in a while it's okay, but if you eat every day. I used to have a young uh, girl who worked for me as a medical assistant. She is tiny, small to look at, but then she is so careful with her money. She has a husband and two, but she's only 18. But she has her kids too. So she is feeding all of them dollar meals from McDonald's. Okay. Then we wondered what her cholesterol, everything would be. Then we took a blood sample with her consent and then looked at it. Horrible. So we told her, this is really destroying your health. Wake up and then cook something at home and then bring some vegetables, give them with salads, all that. Of course, she has came to her senses and stopped doing that. And then invested in good food and then cooking and then serving them like that. And they were having a meal at the table every day in the evening at least. So that kind of simple things, people don't pay attention to. Okay. So that is about the burnout. Okay. Hi, Peter. So the other thing is this disconnection from the body. Body itself is intelligent, body intelligence. Body heals by itself if you allow it. Body tells you the beginning of disease. It can tell you, I feel this nausea. I don't feel this food is digesting. That is a warning. It tells you my muscles ache, my joints ache because I'm not doing enough physical exercise as an old man. And that's why my muscles are going to sarcopenia. But it doesn't tell you sarcopenia, it gives you intimations of the weakness and all this muscle ache and all that. Because muscles are so weak, they cannot even carry the bones. Okay. So you have to understand that and then listen to the body. Suppose you are having a poor posture, be aware of that. Suppose you are sedentary most of the day, be aware of that. Body will tell you, my back is aching, my knees are aching, my posture is not good, and whatever, right? So, and it also shows you that you are not breathing properly. If you are aware, then immediately you know I'm not breathing deep enough. Then you will start to deep breathe. So body has this intelligence. If you are not connected with it, you will be missing valuable insights or whisperings by the body in the form of symptoms, in the form of discomfort, in the form of really poor energy and all that. Okay. So if you treat body like a machine rather than a sacred vessel, then the machine will break down. That's what happens. So understand that I have to be listening to but your mind is oriented towards work. You are motivated about some accomplishments. You are motivated about accumulating some stuff. Then you are more aware of that goals and whatever that you want to achieve, whatever you want to accumulate, you go after that. And you say, oh, I'm working. Oh, that's a ethic and all that. But you forgot your body is telling you, meanwhile, hey, don't sit so long because I feel this and this and this. If you are aware, if you are connected with your body in that sense, where you really feel what is going on, then body will tell you so many things. And when you go to your doctor, you can tell them detail about your experience with your body, what you perceive. That would be valuable input for them. And then they can do appropriate tests, appropriate physical exam, and then come to okay, you have this problem, this is how it started, this is how you should take care of it. Okay, lots of it is connected with your lifestyle. Okay, there will be accidents, there will be trauma, there will be infections. That's all okay. But having these diseases of civilization because you are not aware of how your body is because your nutrition, your lifestyles, right? How you move, how you exercise, how you calm yourself down, how you allow your mind to be really in stillness and all that. All those lifestyles are important. But the modern life has evolved into, oh, I will go and work hard and get this, and then I'll be happy. I'll be happy. But lots of times, what I see is People go and work very hard to make their money when they're young, or 20s, 30s, like that, 40s maybe. Then they neglected their body so much, they did not listen to it. They kind of spend all that money that they made to get better from the illnesses that they accumulated unconsciously a lot. So that's why it's important that you should be having this connection with your body, awareness of the body, intelligence of the body. Listen to it. And I suppose some of my people who work with me, like Janet, for example, I taught her how to listen to the body. She was motivated by doing the morning routine. She was doing too much. When the body says, I cannot do, you cannot. So even when you are doing yoga with me, I encourage you to listen to your body. It will tell you what is that I can do, how far I can bend, how far I kind of take this posture and all that. Then you only go up until the body allows you. So she did that, and then she improved very remarkably after that. So she is not competing with me. She is doing what is possible for her body at that time. So you may have neglected the body for years, right? And so body has developed these bad habits, poor posture, weakness, or so many things. Right? Then you want to suddenly you are made up your mind, and then you are intellectually motivating the body to do it. No, it cannot do. It's like an elephant. Okay, there's this story about elephant and compared to what it is, what we do go through the body. New Year comes, people really want to change their life habits. They want to get healthy. They want to lose weight. They want to appear in control of their diet and all. They come with all those resolutions to me. Then I will sit down and discuss with them and tell them what is the goal that they establish for themselves, how they want to go about it. And then next morning, they want to get up, but the body says, I'm not interested. I did not make the decision. I don't want to get up because I'm used to sleeping late. Right? That's that elephant like body we create, elephant like mind we create. And it is so powerful, it does not want to listen to us. Now, in real life, the elephant is very strong, but this little man sitting on the top of the elephant with a small, it's called ankusham. It's like you can poke it with that rod, and he's holding that and he's controlling that with that. He has no more strength as the elephant. Elephant is very powerful compared to him, but he listens. How? Then you can see the man trained the elephant since childhood. So these habits that you cultivate in children and young people, or if you are really neglect your body, did not really take care of it, and then did not exercise, did not get up, anything like that, then that bad habits of elephant you created is not going to listen to you. The question is slow training. Training is what? Training is different from straining. Training is you want to create a goal for yourself and achieve that goal, and then extend the goal a little bit more, then achieve that. So you don't want to do the goal too long all of a sudden, a short distance. Then, so like I tell somebody to walk, okay, walk 1 block around your house. Then next week, go to 2 blocks and stay there for the week. Like that, you want to reverse your bad habits very slowly, being kind and compassionate to your body, enrooting it as a partner, not imposing everything from your intellectual understanding. You can have it, you can do it, but then when you are really doing it, you got to give it the room, just like any other person. The same thing with the mind conditioning too. You cannot change your mind conditioning when you establish yourself in those bad habits of thinking unconsciously and then absorbing all them and then teach your mind like that to be in that kind of thinking. You got to slowly dismantle the castle you have built with unconscious thoughts. Okay, so disconnection from that body is a problem of pain point that I see. People really forget about it and they go after things. These days, even the kids, they used to get out and go out and play out of on the road or on the trees or on the wells and all that. Now they are sitting or staying or lying down in the sofa with a device and they're playing the device, video games and all that. And also, they have so many amenities, so many creature comforts. Office workers and other people, they sit in the chairs for long. They don't want to take stairs, they take the elevator. They come driving a car to the front door, and then they don't walk much. Okay, so all these bad habits, they allow them thinking that they are comforts, they are modern comforts. Then you are really putting mind and body as machines, not as really lively things. Okay, that has the actually body is a sacred vessel. If you don't treat it with reverence, with attention, with real care, that happens. Okay. Now we're coming to the fourth one, which is circadian disruption and poor sleep. What is circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is a natural cycle that our body and mind go through, and they wake up in the morning, get awake during the day, work all day, and then lie down at the night time and relax. And that is a natural rhythm, right? There are so many digesters, CVS, heart starts to beat, and then it goes on beat till you last breath, right? And that it has own way of pumping the blood and purifying the blood, and then all that. Okay, whatever that process that are going on within you, they have this biological clock rhythm. Okay, but if you don't understand it, you force yourself on that cycle, and instead of sleeping you keep yourself awake, and you keep yourself awake through the night, and you will be exhausted in the morning. So how many people realize that and live very simply? Let me rise with the sun and be active as long as the sun is there. And then when sun goes down, let me lie down and relax and sleep. It is very simple thing, but we get so many mental habits, so many entertainments, so many things that think we think is better for us at the cost of regenerating our body and mind. That is what happens in the sleep. So do this formula. Get up in the morning and do whatever you do with attention, not thinking so much. Okay. Whatever you do, take one thing at a time and do it and end it. Like that, at the end of the year, you don't have anything in your mind. Then you don't have to have many dreams and you can sleep deeply. And that deep sleep is the key. However much hours you sleep, that's not counting. How much deep sleep you have is important. In that deep sleep, body resets itself, regenerates itself, detoxifies itself, both body and the mind. So that's why it's very important to follow your circadian rhythm and solve the problem of poor sleep. Okay. Now we're going to do the fifth one and then we'll stop. Okay. We'll do some other day the rest of the 10. Okay. Fifth one is inflammation and lifestyle driven illness. See, all these civilizations produced diseases. That's why called diseases of civilization. Diabetes, hypertension, smoking related things, alcohol related things, and diet related things, poor exercise, and lot of mental illness. That is because you don't understand your thought, you allow it to go all over, and all sorts of loneliness, all sorts of mental illness are related to that. So it's basically the civilization is enhancing and producing these diseases. Diabetes definitely is one of them. Our diet has become so purified. The white rice and the white flour, they really cause a lot of the type 2 illness, right? So the diets, the modern diets, very poor in vitality. What is vitality? That energy that is inherent in that, and the more vital food you eat, the freshly, brought from the garden and then cooked, and then the food that's cooked, you eat within 45 minutes. That has that vital energy, not destroyed. But if you put it in a can, if you put it in a stale storing thing, and then you eat later on, heating it up another, you don't have vital energy in it. You have maybe some dead calories, but not really energy. Okay, so this information happens because we eat processed food, and we have these sugar urges. We involved in alcohol consumption, and all this information happens because you are doing all these lifestyles that are not good. Part of it is very bad food. Okay, so that bad food that don't have any energy, and you eat and consume and stay there, that is the dimming your vitality. This in ancient systems, they identified that as the energy, and they amplified that by deep breathing and also paying attention to what they are eating, how they are eating, what preparing, and all that. Okay, so this information happens because you allow this uh, chronic assault of external things on your metabolism, and then you have aches all over. Don't have energy, and you don't have real vitality in your speech, in your thinking, in your action. Okay, so understand that inflammation is bred by our modern lifestyles, is allowed and grow up by the modern lifestyle. Think about it. How many people really think like this? What is information? Why is it happening? How I am unconsciously allowing it to, uh, you know, exacerbate within me, and I'm really driving up these lifestyle-driven illnesses. Lot of my energy goes into this because modern medicine, scientific medicine, pretty good about our um more like our trauma, infection, uh, things like that. Okay, but acute illness, any acute illness, very good. Okay, but it cannot do much about the chronic illness because a lot is dependent on the lifestyles, and there are so many people elevating those bad lifestyles to make some buck. Why do McDonald's produce all these fast food chains? They are economic survival or revenue and all that. So many, and it's not only that, but so many people do that. So, and then who is really making them happen? We, the consumers, are allowing this bad behavior by these people to promote this illness driving lifestyles. Okay, once you understand that, then you will be able to understand, is my body is having chronic inflammation or not? Are you aware of it? Are you aware your body has the inflammation, the signs of inflammation, the chronic aches and pains and slowness and all that? If you are not aware of it, how can you take care of it? Are you aware of the factors that promote this inflammation? Ask yourself that question. Okay, then you will be able to understand, yeah, I am not paying attention, and then people are really, uh, pushing on these things, whether they know it or not. But the consequence is my body is suffering, my long-term health is suffering. I'm not well, otherwise I should have been well. Okay, so be natural, get your food as natural as possible, and get your lifestyle habits as natural as possible, and then you will be well for a long time. Not only for a long time, you will be joyful while you are living on this earth without suffering of the illnesses. If you have illness also, you can overcome them better, right? So those are the 5. I think I talked about 1 hour now. I'll stop there and invite anybody who wants to come and tell me what do you feel about this. Hi, Peter. Namaste. Welcome.
Namaste, Dr. Rao.
Namaste. How is my rant? Any sense?
Love it. I love it. I was locked in. But particularly going back to your suggestions in the morning and how we should be in the morning, how we should start our day. And I kind of get the sense, because there's so much information overload, and I think as a society, we're so used to having these tools and scrolling and all this information coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. You can tell me what you think about it, but it's just my thought that maybe a good way for someone who's just starting on their journey would be something like a guided meditation.
I will tell you how I did it. Okay? I will tell you. I wanted to know what is the purpose of my life.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Then I kind of organized my mind towards that.
Mm-hmm.
That way, what happens, whatever that is coming on, I'm not going to go and embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to allow me to achieve my purpose or not? That is how organized mind happened towards the things that I want to do in life, towards the energies that I have, towards resources I have. Everything is oriented towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Not having an organized mind. For example, you want to do a job, you will organize around it, right? But if you don't have a purpose in life, why are you here? What is the human being's purpose? What is it that...
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I think before people even get to that point, right, just to get a quiet mind is the first step for a lot of people. Like getting, figuring out your purpose and getting an organized mind, that's absolutely essential. But to just start from somewhere and just to be able to get quiet and to still your mind from all this craziness and this chaos that we can see on our phones or on the news. I think it's just a good starting point to maybe
very practical thing, Peter.
Where you have like a guided meditation.
No, not the meditation. Very practical point is when the night goes into the light, that is one time. When the light goes into the darkness at the night time, that's one time. Choose these 2 times, okay? And when you get up, just stay with what is happening in front of you. That means you are being in awareness, not in the flow of thought.
Right.
If you allow the flow of thought to come in the morning and have its own network, and you are living with that network all the time, that is the problem. On the other hand, you say, I woke up, today is Saturday, and I'm going to look at how the weather is, how everything, living, plants, pets, people around me. I'm in touch with that, and I stay there. Don't allow your judgments, your conclusions, everything come in. No, observe that. From that awareness, from that presence that you want to operate. What is promoted is this quick forming network of thoughts.
Right.
And then people don't know when to stop it.
Or how to stop it.
Not how to stop it. They don't know when to stop it. Suppose you take one task at a time. What do I tell? Pay attention to the task. What does it mean? That you are completely with your attention with that task. And
so that's the how.
And that's the how. Then what I do? Next patient comes, I have complete attention to him. That is the difficulty a lot of people have, is because they think about things happened in the past, things happened in the present, they are never there. They may say, oh, I'm going to live in the present, but they are not in the present. They are either in the mind, in the past, or in the future. No, give attention to this, here and now. You are here. I'm giving complete attention to you.
Right.
That's it. That's the how.
Right.
But you want to.
So, and I agree with. So it's an easy. That's a very simple step. It's a very simple instruction.
Yes.
But I'm wondering how easy it is for someone just starting out on their journey. And I guess that would be my whole counterpoint.
No, they are in the journey. They fell off of it. They were beginning to live in the present. Okay. But now they fell off of that engine of presence, and they are in this taking wherever it goes. So coming to your original state of being in the, see what it is life is what? Here and now. This moment.
Of course.
This moment, we may have relationship, we may have things, but then suppose I say, oh, Peter said that nasty thing the other day that I'm going to nurture that, they are missing you here now.
Right, they're 3 days ago.
Yeah,
right?
But you know what it is? Yeah. You are unconscious that you're allowing that go into the past or the future. Be consciously thinking. That means allow your the instrument of thought, which is a very sharp instrument, to be working here and now. You're cutting vegetables, Peter. Do you allow your mind to go and think about so many things? That's what a lot of modern people are doing. Or you are allowing yourself to be immersed completely in this moment. Okay? Right. And then at the night time, what you do, as you are slipping into darkness, let all your thoughts and everything empty naturally. The more you do every day, the easier it becomes. For me, I don't even have to stay for a second. It's already empty.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm going to go back again to the person whose life out of habit, right, and out of societal just ways of doing things is so chaotic. So I guess I'll ask the question differently. In the middle of the day, when a busy mom has 10 or 15 minutes, would it hurt her? I know hurt her was a hard word, but would it harm to turn on Noon Vibe app or something on YouTube?
No. Why do you need a Noon Vibe app? That is the question. That's the question. Why do you need Noon Vibe app? Why do you need Noon Vibe app? Because... Well,
I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it to you. So I'm not even just Noon Vibe. It could be YouTube. So
anything.
What would be the harm of that busy mom?
No, that's the question. Anything outward, why do you need that?
Yeah, but let me finish. I'm telling you why. Because life is so chaotic, and it's almost to a point where we're neurotic. And the thought of, or the concept that I am more than, I'm not just this body, I'm not this body or mind, almost sounds like a foreign language. And the language that they may be used to speaking is that I think, therefore I am. So if that's the language that they're speaking, and that's the truth.
You remember the elephant story? Elephant story I told you?
Yeah, but let me finish this thought.
Yeah.
What would be the harm of that busy mom that's or that caregiver that's taking care of that ill person? They have 15 or 20 minutes. What would be the harm of sitting quietly in a chair?
Now, is that really working? The question is, Peter, I know what you're talking about, but listen to me.
Okay.
The people are doing these practices. People are really able to look outward for help, right?
Yeah.
Where are we? Abundant increase of the chronic illness. Abundant increase of scattered minds. No, let me tell you. So,
I'm listening.
no, I'm telling you, this is a very important point, because
I'm listening.
We always trying to go out of us to help.
Right.
The key is turn inward, not with your intellect, which is going out, analyzing, dissecting, and all. That's what we are doing. But turn inward and see why I am really absorbing all these things, why I'm not aware that these things are coming at me and crowding me. And then you can dislodge all that by going inward and also lodging yourself in that abundant self you have. That people forgot.
Right. So, but that causes that in order to do that, we have to learn that. We have to learn that that's possible. So
perceive that, not learn that, not the fact. Perceive that is there.
Perceive. So in other words, to perceive it, we have to do it. But to even have the knowledge of it, to have the awareness of it, awareness that we can even perceive it.
Peter, you are missing the natural thing. What you are missing is the natural thing is our stillness and silence.
I understand. I'm not missing it because I know what it is, but I'm speaking.
No. What it is when you miss what is naturally within us, we're allowing these artificial networks to develop. That's why people are getting more and sucked into that quicksand of thought network. See, it's important, Rishi. I'm glad you brought this up because it's very important, for us to really get up in the morning and being aware, I'm awake, here I am.
Right.
This is my life, right? But we cultivated our thought network so quick, so electric, so dynamic, it comes and takes us over.
All right. So I'm going to go back to the mom, right? And her first alarm clock in the morning is maybe a crying baby, right? Maybe a little bit earlier than her
but there's a natural function. She will respond to that.
Right, fine. So then she starts her day, and finally in the afternoon, the baby takes a nap. What would be the harm of doing that?
The mom does that natural things with the baby. She loves it, she enjoys it. She is not in thought about baby.
No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying here.
I'm understanding. You are operating with the intellect. I'm operating with the intuition directed inward.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is this, my friend, is however we get to the path, right? I know you have the shortest, quickest way. You have the straight line, but sometimes life is not a straight line. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Who is saying that's not? No, Peter. Who is saying it's not straight line?
What's that?
Who is saying that it is not a straight line?
No, what I'm saying to you is
no. The thought saying. The point is thought saying that this is not a straight line, but it is already there. That is the problem. Thought makes you think through it, but it's already mom's love for the kid doesn't make her think. It will see and do.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
As a physician, right? As a physician, and you're treating someone, and a mom comes to you and says, "You know what? Life has been crazy. It's going nuts. But my blood pressure has dropped in the last 2 weeks. You see that there's been a change in their stress levels." And you ask them, what's the difference? Yeah. And they say to you, well, for every afternoon at 1:15, I listen to a 20-minute guided meditation. And that brings me into the present moment. And I'm doing better. I'm living a better, healthier life as a result of that. As a result of that, I'm making better food choices. As a result of that, I think I'm realizing what you're talking about. I'm realizing who I am. This
is the trap. This is the trap that the modern civilization led them into. Listen to me carefully. What I'm saying is, you are having that reactionary ego doing all this thinking. Okay? But your presence is the one that you want to identify, and you can catch it at the time of the day changing. Okay? Then you establish yourself in that presence, not in your persona. Your persona is telling, life is chaotic, life is coming at me, I'm reacting to it, I have the stress, I have all this. That's why I need some mechanical thing to calm me down. But what it is you are that silence.
Yeah.
You're not identifying with that. No, you're identifying with the egoic reaction.
No, I'm not.
No. What is happening to the mother? No, what is happening to the mother who is telling me that she's stressed out is because her egoic reaction. I'm not personally telling you. I'm telling you as a human being, what is happening is they are identifying with the reactions emanated from the ego. Who is reacting?
Which is
that is the persona. That is the one we put it together. And we think,
and as human beings, we all have personas, right?
Yeah, personas, but that should serve us, not should be a master.
I understand that, but it's not. But it should be. But the reality of it is,
the patients come to me. You told me this picture. That's very true. They come to me. What do? I told you the elephant story. Retrain yourself because you trained in the wrong way. retrain yourself so that you can unwind your conditioning. People are not accepting that they are conditioned by the society, by the external things. So your intellect always goes out, your senses go out. We think those are the ones. That is the problem with the modern mindset anywhere in the world now. But the instrument you want to use is your intuitive awareness inside.
Right, but I don't get that automatically. Like
no, you don't get that automatically. You lost it automatically.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is I got to that point, right? And oh gosh, I got to come back up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come back. You got to the point, but then you fell out of it.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is like whether it's Noon Vibe or a YouTube app, there's wisdom out there. Like you're speaking about wisdom today. The way you're delivering that wisdom is via the Noon Vibe app, the technology. So it's a very good thing to do.
Yeah, but I do it all the channels together though. I don't rely only on Noon. Actually, I have problem with the Noon Vibe philosophy because what I am promoting is be independent. Not that you can't use that instrument, but use the instrument, but be independent, come to your self-responsibility. Feel your body intentions, feel your mind intentions, and then use the body and mind as instruments, but be in charge as your presence.
See? I agree. Now, what you just said right now is wisdom. And the way you deliver that wisdom is right now.
I know, but how you are getting it intuitively or information as intellect. That is where your persona comes in.
I understand it, but let me just finish. The way you're delivering that intuitive wisdom to me right now and others is through a vehicle called technology, and happens to be the Noon Vibe app.
Don't know what is conveyed to you, Peter. You grasp it intuitively. That's what I'm asking. Don't take it as information. No, don't take it.
I absolutely am grasping it intuitively.
No, everybody has to do that.
I understand, but what I'm saying is you're in Iowa and I'm in Virginia.
No, these are all practical things that they said. But ultimately, what happens when it reaches a person? No, listen to me. Listen to me very carefully.
I've been listening.
No, what I'm saying is when that point reaches you, whichever technology, whichever person or whatever, how you get it, not as information, but as truth that you could grasp with your intuition.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, that is the only difference between the ancient and the modern.
Right. So, but what I'm saying to you is because of technology, right? Because of technology, the vehicle in which that message gets delivered is delivered. Now, whether I take it through my persona or intellect, or if I take it intuitively or from perceiving it with my intuition, has nothing to do with the vehicle, other than the vehicle delivered the wisdom that you're sending out. So I think we have to be careful when we say not Noon Vibe or don't go to YouTube, because these things are there to
serve they're trying their best. What I'm saying is it is not the vehicle. Whatever information comes to you through your advertisement, your television, to your phone, whatever, your friend, that's not it. What I'm saying is the approach of these vehicles is not like I'm going to give you information, observe you do it. That is what the body and mind don't listen to. But in your own intuition, you grasp the truth, then dawns on you, oh, this is the way it should be, and then you will be able to do that. Because the conditioning is so severe, the people are not. So, for example, I told so many people here, don't do group meetings. Don't say, I'm going to grow together. You are not going to do that. You're going to do only by inner self. Each human being, you can turn inward and change themselves by themselves. But
how do they learn to do that?
Yeah, that is the problem with the modern education and modern conditioning.
Right.
See, if you condition somebody
I applaud you for, because you're doing everything in your power to change that. You're bringing a new type of a teaching, and I am forever grateful. But my thing is, we're doing this now as a group. there's 20
No,
people.
no, no. I am pointing out something that I see in the modern man, human conditioning. Okay, that's something you may not want to take it on the face value. What I would like to do is you go and investigate by yourself and then find out within yourself what is the truth. Each heart knows the truth, Peter. Okay. Only thing is, why I am doing this is I see the suffering.
Of course.
Everybody sees the suffering. Of course. But I am trained to at least address that, because people come to me. They call or they ask an appointment, whatever, right? Then when they call me, and then I kind of look at what it is going on, and then look at how their mind is conditioned, how they're misinformation, or they're not ignored. They're ignored, basically, a lot of things that were going on in them. I point out and clarify them, and then they catch that. And then they see the point by themselves. That's my job. Leading them towards their inward self, where they can see the truth by themselves. That they are not really exercising, for example, simple thing like that. And they are not listening to the body telling, oh, my knees are aching, my back is aching, whatever, right? And they're not doing what is needed for that to end, rather than continue, allow it to go on. What their mind is occupied with something they have to do for living or whatever, and then they neglect taking care of the body. Even though body is giving you the intuitions. See, for example, take your example personally. You had that spark of awareness of your inner self at some point when you were cut off for the daily lives things, and you are in the prison and all. But then your mind is conditioned so bad, so you revert to that very quickly, rather than establishing yourself in that moment of truth that you yourself experienced. Nobody gave it to you. You experienced yourself. Only thing you did was you eliminated all the obstacles to that before.
But I had to gain that wisdom to do that.
But you are not staying there. You are not staying there. That's the problem.
Yeah, I understand. I go in and out of it. What I'm saying to you is,
that's all I'm saying. All of us do that. All of us do that. We fall out of it and come back to it. But then,
of course,
the modern orientation towards outward development so much, very people think that they have this abundance inside and stay there.
Yeah. Right.
All I'm saying is,
until I read a book.
That's it. That's it. What I'm saying is, the book may come, but who wrote the book? The ones who realized that.
Of course.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to not giving you information. He is trying to point out the direction inward, because you went in, you are able to do that.
Yeah.
That's all. That is as simple as that. Actually, this is so simple. The pristine self of ours that's the closest of us. And we have all these 5 layers around it. Like I described about, okay? But the thing is, we get dislodged from that inner abundant self, and then we go outward with our intellect to find information to change ourselves inside. We don't have to. We don't have to. Actually, you don't need knowledge. What you need is be still in your mind and then feel that with your intuition. Then you're always there. But what it is like you and me were modern men. We always go out, find the book, to listen to talk, do something. What I'm inviting everybody here all the time is, no, don't get like that. Don't depend upon others like that. They may have inspired, they may do it. But then look at the people who are directing you towards your inner self by yourself. That is missing. That is missing because very few people feel this abundant self within, and enamored and feeling that so valuable, stay there.
Yeah.
That we call self-realized people.
Of course.
Yeah. And that is given very little value, but outward things and everything is given a lot of value by the civilization as it grew. That is where the mistake was made. I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
And you're caught in the
But it's
thought.
not just that.
Like I told you, in the morning you get up, right? When you first get up, you don't have any thoughts, right?
Mhm.
A moment, and immediately one thought comes. Next thought, next thought. So this they described as chit jada grandhi. Chit means your inner mind, self, and all that, right? And jada is the inert body. The body
Right.
doesn't tell I am, okay? And also the inward chit, that is the inner soul and all that, doesn't say anything. But there is a middle thing that is the thought. That
Right.
is a good instrument for us if you use it properly. What I'm
Well, I have
presenting.
to tell you
Mm,
that I am super grateful for you, Dr. Rao.
yeah,
I'm super grateful for you coming up day after day and exposing the truth to us
yeah,
and what it is. And I love that you don't just talk about it. You say, go ahead and investigate it for
yeah,
yourselves. And I'm on that journey, and I appreciate and love you for being who you are. So
yeah.
namaste, my friend.
It's a
Namaste.
it's a question of when I understood who is a real teacher. The teacher doesn't say, I'm superior to you, I'm telling you, you listen to me, follow. The true teacher is the one who points to you to go towards your inner self. See how much responsibility is there? If you are egoic, that means me. If I am egoic and I want to elevate myself to a teacher and tell people, okay, listen to me, I know better, you have to listen. That's the egoic action. But if I don't have the ego and I transcended the ego because I understood that's a fake thing, that's a shadow of my real self, then I'm not into that. I'm more about your welfare. I'm more about you discovering for yourself the abundant self. That's why this group thinking, group learning is not the way. It's like going inward and touching that already there, everlastingly there. And it's going to be there even after we lose the body and mind. That is the eternal, pervasive self in everybody. That is the divine self we talk about. And then we all have it. It's not that I have it, you don't have it. We both have it and everybody else have it. Only thing is, did you realize that? And if you realize that, are you staying in that? What is preventing you from that? Because this outward going intellect, outward going sensory inputs or outputs or whatever. That is the difference. When the real thing happened to me, when Ramana Maharshi points this out to a Polish writer, and he says, uh, what you think you have to see whether it is really true or it is something fabricated. Then how can I dismiss myself like that? What do I feel and all? Then they say, what is that saying you that whatever you put together by the thought is you, your roles, your occupations, your work, whatever, and all that. You identify as a doctor, for example. Are you doctor first or a human being first? It's very clear to me. I'm a human being first. Then I have the role of a doctor. But what is that human being? Humora is the body mind that made up of our elements, earth, fire, and everything, right? And then there is this spark of a conscious being that gives life to the body and mind. So to go inward is like feeling intuitively, not thinking, feeling intuitively. Remember, I always quote about Eckhart Tolle put it very nice in his book, Now, regaining, to regain the memory of being, not the human part of it, but being, and embodying it by feeling realization, not thinking realization. Feeling realization is enlightenment. Enlightenment is self-realization. Okay, regaining first of all the memory of that being and embodying it by feeling realization of that being. That is self-realization, enlightenment. And you may feel that one time and you may fall off of it, which most of us do. But the longer you are there, that means, are you sitting down with yourself? Are you shutting the world out? Are you going inward with your intuition, not with your intellect? This is what I encourage people to do. Encourage myself to do too. But whether you do it or not is up to you. That's a very good discussion Peter brought out, and I know he was touching that inward self and then coming out of it because he wants to be with the society with all these things, but that may be totally unnecessary because your aim is to really not suffer and also not allow other people to suffer if they can realize it. Actually, realizing yourself is the highest healthy wellness state. A lot of people don't realize that. Okay, they are lost in outward activities, they are lost in egoic activities, reactions, and all that. Okay, put aside your self as you think you are to really realize who you really are. There was one talk in Rabad Maharshi talks about it. If you want to be you really, you got to sacrifice the you created through thought. You have to die to that. That means you have to understand and transcend that as though that is my slave. How many people can say, my ego is my slave? You are driven by the ego, your reactions of the ego. If you really transcend the ego, you don't have the reactionary behavior. You will be responding to the life's challenges with emotional stability. That's why self-realization, having this stability of the emotional self or intellectual self, you are quiet, you are silent, you are really still in thought. That's why no stress hormones, no metabolic reactions. That's why you are very healthy. This is why people had a very simple outward life, but this outward life is exacerbated by this ego and the thought and the intellect. So once you understand that, everything will be simple. To really realize that inner pristine self that is closest to us is the simplest thing. But we complicate it because we create this instrument of thought, intellect, and associate going out. Once that is clear to me, I stopped going out just like that. I told you, my purpose is to turn inward and realize who I am. And after that, come out and help the world for the welfare of the world. I see so much suffering coming my way, and that's why I come and talk to you guys. How many people really get it? How many people really want to pursue it? No, you want to go back to your ego, to go back to your intellect, go back to your thought going out, and then you're caught all the time. If you are not, that's very good. If you are caught, that's why I'm sympathetically pointing out. Because these pain points are there in the modern life, and people are not really paying attention to them as they should, and also find answers within themselves. Okay? So it's a question of whatever Peter is asking, is it coming from his intellect, from his ego, or from his uh, concern for how to help other people? That's up to him to find out. I feel that he has concern. That's why he was trying to give a simple tool. Actually, what is most simple than really touching our inner self? We complicated it by going outward. You feel, I am. You have that feeling of I am from childhood to our age, but we kind of cover it up and alter. So that's why the formula for enlightenment is Mala Vikshepa Avarana. These three things you have to overcome. Mala means dirt in your mind and heart in the form of these multiple desires. Those are looked at dirt in terms of self-realization, relations, talkative points. So you want to clean your heart and mind from the desire. That means whatever you do selflessly. Desirelessness is really put a lot of premium in ancient wisdom. So mala means dirt in Sanskrit. That is one thing obstacle. So what to do is whatever you do in life, do it in a karma yoga way, where you do stuff for doing it, duty for the sake of duty, without expectation of any returns, any profits. Okay. And then second thing is once you cleaned up your mind and heart like that, then vikshepa, your mind is going all over. The thought, that is the problem we are talking about. Going out, creating a separate role for us, like we are this, we are the ego and all that, right? To control the vikshepa, which is scattered mind, you kind of bring it to one point so that it is still. Unless you clean up your body, mind and body, and you clean up your heart, and then unless you kind of stabilize your thinking into that stillness, okay, then you cannot see who you are because you are ignorant of these three things. Avarana is that ignorance is covering like a cloud on your self-luminous inner self. Clean up your mind and heart and stabilize the mind in stillness. And then by appreciating and understanding and bringing your know-how to take the cover of ignorance, then you will unleash the unalloyed happiness or self-luminous self out. So that's why karma yoga, raja yoga for the meditation, bhakti yoga for the meditation, and to keep the mind, together in one place. And then questioning, who am I? What am I? Self-inquiry. That is beyond meditation. And then meditation only calms the mind and gathers together. But then after that, dhyana is staying with one thought and going with one thought, and then really questioning, engaging in this inner inquiry, self-knowledge, self-inquiry. Then that reveals what is the true wisdom is. Abundance that is within us. Okay, anybody else has any questions, or does that make any sense? Come and tell me. I am always encouraging you to go inward by yourself, and purify yourself, gather yourself together, be still in the mind, and then inquire. That is Gnana Yoga. So these are the ones the ancients had. Their lifestyle was not about themselves, but about the world, about everybody. And all that everybody is us. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all in one. But here, we pay so much of discrimination. So many, even some people discriminate me because of the accent. So how miserable they are. Okay. So it is like that. Okay. People always divide themselves from the whole, and then they are striving for the wholeness. You ought to begin with whole, but you fell out of it, and then you feel like I'm kind of this. Okay. So I hope I kind of came across telling you what are the pain points in the modern man. We had 15 points we identified. This is from my work. This is from what I do and how I see the life. Okay. And that's my perspective, really. It's not based on some numbers, something, what I see in life. Okay. So I listed them. We discussed 5 of them. Maybe next time we'll do another 5, and then another 5. 3 sessions we will do. Pretty important stuff, I think. It's not pointed out just to say, oh, people are suffering. It's pointed out with sympathy and compassion so that people can catch something and then really see it in themselves. And if they are really having the pain points, correct them, connect them. Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you again later. Bye bye.